Hello class, and we are finally at the last exercise of the class. And for this exercise there's three questions to be answered, and the first model, for the main reason for this exercise is just to understand a little bit more about the Logit regression model. And the reason for this Logit regression model is because the previous model in week 4 or exercise 4, we work on regression model, and for the regression model usually the dependent variable is a continuous variable when we have a categorical variable. So the best fit model is a Logit or logistic model. And then for this week we want to use two dummy variable or just a categorical variable and see how they are correlated to each other. And then the first question is run a Logit model and being a member being a member of network as a dependent variable and find out its impact on hospital ownership and hospital bed. This is the first model. The second model is now include the income and report the coefficient, and then include for the third question include the ratio of Medicare and Medicaid and see the impact, and finally give us some policy recommendation for these models after running these models. Okay, here is I'm going to RStudio. You have the data. This is the data. This is the same data you are working with from week 1. And then first of all, for this question, the last question, we need to have a ratio of Medicare and Medicaid. So first of all, let's generate these two variables. Okay, this is the model we have already. This is the data we already have. I'm generating the benefit as a total hospital revenue minus total hospital cost. Here the Medicare total hospital Medicare discharge divided by total hospital discharge. This is for Medicare, and for Medicaid this is total hospital Medicaid. Actually it should be Medicaid. Okay, make sure to fix this in your codes, otherwise in the Medicaid we're gonna have two similar variables and model gonna remove one of them. So make sure to fix this. It should be Medicaid here. This is Medicaid here, this is Medicare here, and this is Medicaid here. And let me give you a bigger font so you can see better. Okay, this is better. I'm gonna give more space to this. Okay, this is Medicare and this is Medicaid. Make sure to fix that. Then because in some point we need to use the ownership as a categorical variable, we need to define the factor function. This is the factor function, and based on this factor function I'm converting the own from the this is the variable hosp, right? We have the hosp dollar. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, and the 0 is non-for-profit, 1 is for-profit, 3, 2 is public, and 3 is other. So I, based on the factor variable function, I just generate a new variables, call it own1, and the new variable is a factor variable. Okay. For the first model, the command for the Logit regression model in the RStudio is a Logit. This is the Logit, so we can use the GLM, general linear model, and then with a link of Logit, so we can get the Logit model. Okay, you need to run this. This is the system member. The system member is a categorical variable. Look at this. Say 0 1. 0 is non-membership, or as a system the 1 is a membership. And usually when we are using this on a categorical variable, the 0 considered as a reference group. So let's run this model. This model is including the system member as a dependent variable on, and hospital bed as the independent variable. And then after running this model, we have this result, right? This is the result. Let me give more space to this. Okay, this is the result. The intercept, it's in the baseline visually. I think probably we don't need to report. Do we need to report? No, we don't need to report. And the constant, if you like, it's okay, you can add one more row and add this, but so we don't need that in the table. This is the you know, in the exercise I ask you to report the coefficient. I didn't ask you to report the probability. So the Logit regression usually give you the probability, but when we ask the RStudio, by default report the coefficient. If you like to report the probability, you can convert that, or you can just or you can just compute that manually, or just add one function to report to get the outcome as a Logit, as a probability. Anyhow, for this exercise we don't need to convert that. So basically the ownership is minus 0.2229, and the p-value is less than 5%. There's asterisk here. This is significant, and say based on this guideline here, when we have one asterisk, it does mean in 5% it is significant. The interesting thing is the RStudio gives you some information on in 10% significantly. So you can see here it's significant at 10%, or if it's more than less than 0.1, it's gonna be 10% is significant. So basically for this class we are working as a 5%. Okay, the ownership is significant. The own number 1 is here, for profit. This does mean being for profit, the membership, the for-profit hospital less likely to be a member of the hospital, to be probably are not in the network of providers, for-profit hospital. As long as we just go with the for-profit hospital, so we do expect to have less probability of being membership. If you go with the number 2, public, the public hospital is more likely 0.06%, but it's not significant. Even when we go with the other type of hospital, is less likely to be a system membership. Okay, you just need to report these 2 variables, these 3. We done 3. You can just copy this, right? You can just copy and paste here. System membership is here. The standard deviation, standard error, and you know what's the difference between a standard deviation and standard error, right? If you don't remember that, go back to the PowerPoint of the class and you will find them. This is for this. You can just convert the other part, 2 and 3, and the hospital bed. The hospital bed, it does mean with the hospital bed more likely, being a system member, more likely to have bigger hospital. more likely to see bigger hospital, or more likely to have higher number of beds. So here it's 0.2 percentage, but if you multiply to 200, you can see the result. 0.2 percentage is not too much. I can say even if it's significant, it doesn't have a lot of sense. Okay, then here, so you have that the gray line, so it's not included, so you just report the coefficient for the hospital bed here. For profit, non-for-profit, and other hospital. For now, we don't need to report the hospital name, income, this ratio, and Medicare ratio. And then you have an N. The N is here. This is the N. 3029 plus number 1, right? This could be 330. And the AIC, the AIC is here. The point about the AIC is that you need this number to compare the models at the very end. Any lower AIC is any lower AIC does mean the better fit model. I believe I searched it here for you. What does it mean? And this is a good recitation. You can just go ahead and just read something about the AIC if you like. This is key information criterion AIC, and then it's kind of in regression model we look at the R square. We don't have R square in logic regression. We have pseudo R square. The RStudio didn't report this year, but we have AIC, and the AIC is to find. We can use the AIC at the very end. Okay, this is the first model. The second model, we add total hospital revenue, and let's see the result for this model. Okay, this is the result for this model after adding the hospital revenue. Okay, the ownership is minus, still minus. Can report this. And okay, the ownership number 2 positive, not significant, the same, probably not, just didn't change a lot here. The hospital revenue is minus. It does mean being a system members, okay, reduce the hospital revenue. Maybe the reason is if you most of them as public. The owner number 3 is the other type of hospital, and the public hospital is not significant, so I can say in the hospital the membership has a negative impact on hospital revenue. More likely I can say they are non-for-profit hospital, and that makes sense because they are not working for the revenue. This is the reason, probably one of the main reasons. We have AIC here, so you know that sorry, it's a different file. Okay, this is AIC. You know, in exercise 4, some of the students report two R square. There is R square and adjusted R square in regression model, but for here, for each model we have one AIC. Please make sure don't report anything here. Okay. And finally, the last model, model 3. In the model 3, we add Medicare ratio and Medicaid ratio, discharge ratio. I like to see the impact of them. Okay. Still revenue is negative. Medicare, Medicaid, both of them is negative, but the Medicaid is significant. It does mean being a system member in comparison with non-system members, they more less likely to have a Medicaid patient. So and less likely to have a Medicare patient being system members. I'm not looking for kind of reason for this, because this is just kind of exercise for this class. If you want to find that, we have to work more, just maybe switch the system membership and then go with the ownership as a categorical variable, and then include the system membership from in the model as an independent variable and see the results. Probably that will give us more information, but for now let's go with this model. This is AIC 3622 37. Okay, and the last model is best fit model based on this results. You have to you can just go ahead and just populate this table and now include. Okay, and for the policy recommendation, I already discussed the findings. Do you recommend the keeping membership for a hospital? Why or why not? The response to respond this question, look at this. If you like to have a more revenue, being a membership is not a good idea. If you like to be for-profit hospital, being a membership is a good idea. So I can say most of the based on this result, most of the non-for-profit hospital are member hospitals. So that makes sense, because they are working for the community, and then working for the community, the hospital not looking exactly for the income. So for this, one more point here, for this comment, for this exercise, I silenced the sync command. If you'd like to activate that, remove this pound sign, pound key, pound sign from here. So, or you can just go ahead and just run step by step and see the model. That make more sense. Okay, that's it. It was very short and sweet exercise. I just like you to just see some kind of information on the logistic regression model. There's a link here if you'd like to go ahead and just please go ahead with this link. So that's it. This is the hospital bed, model 1, ownership, numbers, and okay, the number is treated any number they reported here plus number 1, because if you go to the PowerPoint class, you can see for the regression we need to go with n minus k minus 1. And for degree of freedom, and k here is number of groups here, and or if exclude the intercept number of variables 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, or you can add this plus number 7. This is here, right? You can get this one 2969 plus number 7. You can get these numbers plus number 1, because it's n minus 1, because it's reported for degree of freedom. The formula is n minus k minus 1, so its number k is 1 2 3 4 5 7 plus 1 29 69. The number of observation for the last model is going to be, and what was that? 2969 plus 1 2970. 2970. Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you class for watching this video, and I'm gonna stop here.